everybody. Welcome to the first annual Voices of Our Youth Conference. I am LJ Tyson. I am a country music artist from here in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. We do want to thank the Sask Rivers School Division for allowing us to be here in the big, beautiful Carleton Comprehensive High School. So thank you once again, Sask Rivers School Division. We acknowledge that we are here on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional meeting grounds, gathering place, and traveling route to the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and Nakota Sioux. We acknowledge all the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit whose footsteps have marked these lands for centuries. A community is more than the land on which you live, work, and play. There are so many things from your own communities, cultures, identity, and upbringing that have changed and shaped who you are today and who you will be tomorrow. Think about the people, the languages, the cultures, the land, the shared stories, customs, and celebrations that have influenced your life. These are integral components of how a community helped create your story and shape your identity, your beliefs, your traditions, and your worldview. Each community member should feel a sense of belonging, pride, and empowerment. Our beloved elder, Liz Satie, will begin our day of learning from each other in a good way.
Dear Creator, thank you for this beautiful day, for bringing us together to help celebrate our youth, to let their voices be heard, so that we, the adults, can rally for them, give them a better future. Let us not work only with our heads, but with our hearts, so we can make a true impact for future generations to come. I ask for your guidance, Creator, that this ripples throughout communities, not only in Saskatchewan, but across the world. Our youth are our future, and we're here to guide and support them. Grandmothers and grandfathers, some of these moves are going to take courage, and we ask for your guidance and your wisdom moving forward. And Mother Earth, thank you for the medicines that keep us safe, healthy, positive, uplifted, for everything that you provide that we need. Working together, we will become stronger, more unified, and our youth will flourish. Hi, hi.
Thank you so much to Elder Liz Satie. Russ Morasti became Saskatchewan's 23rd Lieutenant Governor in July of 2019. He's the first Indigenous person to serve in this role. Born and raised in La Ronge, Saskatchewan, his honor is a member of the Lac La Ronge Indian Band, and he is fluent in Cree. He joined the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 1976 and was posted to seven provinces, performed duties in every province and territory, and participated in an exchange with Northern Territory Police Service in Australia. Following his retirement from the RCMP, Mr. Morasti helped to lead educational initiatives and served on several boards to reduce poverty and promote community safety. His honor leads an active lifestyle and regularly participates in running cross-country, skiing, and marathon events. He and his wife, Donna Morasti, have a home in La Ronge, and they have 2 children and 2 grandchildren. I am proud to present His Honor Lieutenant Governor Russ Morasti.
Hello everyone, Danse. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share a message for this valuable online event. I'm filming today at Government House in Regina in Treaty 4 territory and homeland of the Métis. I want to thank Elder Satie for her prayers. I also want to thank everyone who has helped to plan Voices of Our Youth. We achieve understanding by listening and learning about different perspectives. This conference is a unique way for people to learn about diverse youth perspectives. I commend all the presenters. Public speaking takes courage. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and ideas. I've been fortunate to have been involved in different initiatives where young people have shared their experiences, their thoughts, and solutions to challenges we have all faced. I was always impressed, and I learned a great deal from them. I want to thank everyone who is participating in this conference. Thank you for listening with an open mind and for your interest in the views of these impressive young people. To all the youth who are taking part, please know that your voice matters. We need to hear your ideas, and we also need you to contribute to your community. No matter how old you are or where you are from, everyone can contribute. I hope that everyone enjoys the conference and that Saskatchewan's inspiring youth give you hope for our future. In closing, it is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada. In the spirit of reconciliation, I would also like to share these greetings in my first language, which is Woodland Cree. Nimadidi kitapita matawao, atamiskato and gichogamaskuche, Elizabeth II. Kigichogamaskuino, utagitaskino Canada. Ninanaskumon.
Welcome back, everybody. I do want to let you know that we are all socially distanced here. That's why I do not have my mask on, but when I'm walking around the room, I for sure have my mask on. We are being very COVID safe here, just to reassure everybody. So yeah, I'm very grateful that we do get to have this digital, very COVID safe gathering. And let's talk about Johnny Case. Johnny Case is a Northern Saskatchewan Métis from Isle La Crosse. He grew up in Prince Albert from the ages of 16 to 22, where he graduated from St. Mary's High School. He has a 5-year-old daughter that lives in Prince Albert. He was a part of the Northern Prairie Dancers out of Prince Albert. Johnny has ties to the city and he wants to see continued growth. During the time living in Prince Albert, Johnny was faced with many challenges: drug, alcohol, relationships, education, and at times poverty. He wants to share his story because he understands that a lot of youth still go through the same challenges. He feels he can provide hope and restore faith by sharing his trials and tribulations. He is proud to share how he became the young man he is today.
Hello everybody, my name is Johnny Case. Welcome to our virtual conference. I want to say a big thank you to Trisha and the team for inviting me to be a guest speaker. Today I want to talk about a little bit about my story growing up in Prince Albert and where I am now, the transition from where I was to who I am. I'd like to start when I was 16. When I was 16 years old, I was going to St. Mary's High School. I went there for maybe 5 years. I did 4 years of grade 10 there, and yeah, that phase from 16 to 20, you know, I was into drugs, alcohol, into the wrong crowd. I developed, you know, I kind of developed in that lifestyle and kind of had a dependency on drugs and alcohol for a little while there. And, you know, on the 4th year of being in grade 10, I looked around and I realized, you know, I'm sitting here with a lot of young people. And I was, you know, I was close to quitting that day. And I remember looking outside of St. Mary's School on 13th Street and the reputation that street has. And I was thinking, you know, is that what's left for me at the end of the day? And something internally, there's a little internal fight saying, you know what, this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want for yourself. So, you know, I remember turning back and going to Mr. Fanouf's office. He was a principal at the time. Not sure if he is now. And I remember advocating for myself. You know, I want to go, I want to pursue my education. And I asked him, you know, like, I'm kind of embarrassed sitting in grade 10 with all these kids, essentially. And I asked him, you know, is there any way you could put me in grade 12? And we had this big discussion on it. And he asked me if I'm sure. And I remember feeling like, I'm not sure, but this is what I want. This is something I need in my life. You know, I want to make my parents happy. I want to see if I could actually do it past grade 12. So after advocating for myself for about an hour, Mr. Phaneuf gave me that opportunity to push forward, and ever since that day, I've been doing that since. And, there's my diploma to prove that, I was capable at the time. And, I really thank him for that. Thank him for giving me opportunity. Opportunity is a big thing in my life. Sometimes it's there, and sometimes you have to create it. So in that case, I had to create that for myself, advocate for myself. So, going from drinking and smoking every day to pushing for my education was a big transition for me. And I learned a lot of things in that transition. I learned a lot of things about myself. I wasn't the greatest writer, reader, or any of that. So that year kind of elevated all of that. And then I remember being out of high school for a couple years, and I was thinking again, that same thought, well, what's next for me? And I was thinking about going to the Army, and my mom pulled me aside and said, you know what, keep pursuing your education. You're a smart boy. So, I looked up online, some colleges, universities, all of that stuff, signed a couple papers online, and then I get a call the following day saying, I want you to come in, do some aptitude tests, see where you fit in. So that's what I did. I was living in Calgary at the time. So I remember going downtown Calgary, going in, big skyscrapers, and I was thinking, trying to have a little bit of a vision. Imagine working downtown Calgary, coming downtown every day to come work. So, I kept that vision in my head. And then I get my aptitude test back, and I'm above average. And, it just hit me right there. Like, this could be my path. This could be something I get into career-wise. So they enrolled me into business administration, which I loved. I loved the aspects of business, the whole accounting to project management, all of that stuff. I loved it, right? So I did that for a year, and I got my diploma in business administration. Right after I got this, I got another opportunity to go back home and do economical development, learn the business arm of the community, how we create the money and keep it within the community, how we have businesses that complement each other and keep the money within the community. I learned lots there. I learned about networking, how it's important to connect to certain people. Did that for a year, and I had to move back home for that small town. After doing that for a year, I realized I can't live in a small town. It's not. I kind of almost converted back into that lifestyle, because that's where it usually resides, is in small towns where that isolation is, where drinking, drugging, all of that stuff. So, I kind of pulled myself away from that after a year. My contract was up, moved back to Calgary, and I was trying to figure out what am I gonna do next? What's next for me? So another opportunity opened up. People wanted young men to come out and advocate for youth, and that's what I was doing for a whole year. Before COVID hit, that's what I was doing. I made a short film on foster care and how we make up more than 50% of the system. I advocated for youth programming. I also advocated for cultural identity amongst the young people, and where do we find those resources? I try to make it all into our youth facility, the Diamond Willow Youth Lodge. I sat on the board there. So, all those skills that I learned in economical development and also business administration, going to school, those all came into play and really helped me not only find opportunities but succeed well. You know, I was making a lot of connections, and I was generating some money for myself. You know, I love the work because I was not only helping myself, I was also helping youth that were in a similar situation that I was a few years prior. And then COVID hit, you know, COVID hit and that shut everything down. My network literally shut down, you know, and then I had no source of income. So I had to go back to the drawing board, and, you know, I felt capable. I felt really capable at this time. I felt, okay, you know what? I went through a slump of, you know, losing all of that, losing my support groups, not losing the resources that I had, all of that. So I kind of fell into a state of depression for a bit, and something inside me really kicked off. Okay, now what am I capable of? You know, I could go back to school. School wasn't the strongest. I remember that, thinking back on where I came from, you know, 16 years old to 20 years old, still in grade 10. And now I'm here right when COVID hit, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, I'm very well capable of going back to school. So that's what I did. I went for something that I felt had a lot of longevity, something that, you know, I was capable of doing. So I went to Tradewinds here downtown Calgary again, you know, and I got my certificate, pre-apprentice ironworking program. So these programs that they have here are very, very valuable that I see for youth, people who, you know, want to pursue a future. And yeah, I tapped into that network, and then they helped me out so much. They helped me out to get my gear. They helped me out to pay off my bills that I had piling up. You know, they helped a lot in a time of struggle. And now I come out of that program. I got a good job. I have good benefits. I'm getting paid good. You know, I took that educational route, and, you know, it set me up pretty good. So if that's the message that I could send to the youth, is, yeah, get educated, go out there, get yourself into something you love. There's a lot of routes you could take. None of it's maybe perfect, but you'll never know until you try. And yeah, now I'm an iron worker at AGF Rebar, you know, one of the bigger companies, and they treat me very well. I love that. And it's security for me, stability. So I'm gonna keep pursuing that, hopefully get my red seal in ironworking in the next 4 years, you know, maybe get my own business going. So yeah, that's my story. And just to refresh, like, I live that lifestyle of living in Prince Albert, not knowing what to do, skipping school, drinking, drugging, hanging around the wrong crowd, to where I am now. You know, I'm very blessed, I'm very grateful to have my culture, Métis Jigger. I do Cree sweat lodges, you know, I stay in tune with the network that I helped build here in Calgary. So yeah, don't stop your own goals, don't stop yourself from growing, essentially. And yeah, that's my story. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning into our virtual event. Thank you again, Trisha, so much for inviting me. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the event. And hi.
Thank you so much, Johnny. I hope you guys got a lot from Johnny's keynote there. I definitely got a lot from it. I liked when he said, advocate for yourself. There is going to be so many times in your life when it seems like the whole world is against you, like it seems like everyone is out to get you. Trust me, I've been there, but like Johnny said, you have to keep on advocating for yourself sometimes. Yeah, it might seem very rough to keep on having to go to bat for yourself, but it's so, so important because you are definitely worth it. This is how we build our futures. This is how, another thing Johnny said, we keep envisioning, we keep dreaming. If you stop dreaming, then your goals are going to seem harder to reach. And you've seen Johnny's million certificates and diplomas he had. You can do that too. There's so many different routes. There are so many different options we can take. Everyone has their own unique path. It just takes envisioning and dreaming to realize which one is yours. So thank you once again, Johnny. Let me introduce you to Selena Vance. Selena Vance was born in Saskatoon and raised in both Melfort and Prince Albert. She is the mother of two beautiful boys, Lincoln and Zayden. Selena can proudly say that she has been clean from addictions for almost 5 years, a lifestyle that brought many hardships throughout her life. She is a survivor of foster care, addictions, and homelessness, and is living proof that change is possible through resilience, having the right supports, and perseverance. Selena is in a good place in her life and has found the stability that she was always searching for.
Hi, my name is Selena. I am a fighter and I'm proud to share my journey through foster care, addictions, and homelessness. Let me start by saying this. No matter how dark your world may seem, there is always hope. Always look toward the light, even if you have to make your own light. Remember, you're never alone. There's always someone to help if you reach out for support. People care. I was badly abused as a child. I grew up in foster care. When I was in foster care, I felt like I was a ward of the state, like government property. You don't really get to form a sense of belonging and are never really in charge of your own life. I was a runner. I kept running to my grandma's house because that's where it felt like home. I would hitchhike there. I've had scary encounters with hitchhiking before. Once I hopped in with someone who had a gun on the dash, along with a few other times having drunk men hitting on me. My grandma drank a lot, and that's when I began to drink. So young. I was an alcoholic well before I was 15. A lot of bad comes from toxic relationships and abusive exes. I got into gravel bad because that's what my ex did. We started experimenting with needles. I knew it was changing me. So we broke up and I went to the YWCA Our House. The shelters knew me well already. When social services had no home to put me in, they would dump me in the psych ward at the hospital or in shelters. I've always been good, kind, but I like to escape. I have so much pain and sorrow, my pit seems bottomless. My addiction began with drinking and then escalated to MDMA and cocaine. Once I was out of foster care, I moved into a room and board, and that's when I began to use harder and use meth. I used meth for 4 years. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I was skin and bones. I would have starved to death. When I moved out to an apartment, I was so isolated, and that's where my addictions escalated. The drugs and the booze will continue to eat away at your life. Meth will steal all your happiness and leave you breathless. Life spins away so fast. I was neglected and abandoned before I could walk. I hated myself. I felt like I didn't deserve to live. I was an accident. I didn't know my real father. When you're new at it, it seems fun and exciting. I was always searching for love, friendship, a feeling of belonging, and self-worth. I kept looking in all the wrong places, trying to find loyalty, respect, and acceptance. If my own family didn't want me, no one would ever want me. You will never get these days back. Before I knew it, 4 years living off meth left me with black teeth, scars on my face, and all over my body. The hardest scar of all to forgive is yourself entirely. Letting yourself slip so far, picking butts off the street, not washing your clothes, not loving yourself enough to give yourself a chance to choose. Make the choice to get clean and follow your dreams. You won't dream if you never sleep. One thing about not having a stable living environment, it's extremely tough. I've jumped from a 2-story window, scared for my life, so strung out. I messed up my feet and my back, surviving without power, having to boil water to fill the bathtub to have a hot water bath, no laundry, having to wash your clothes in the tub, having to sift through what's left of your belongings in garbage bags, finding cans of food, anything, packages of oatmeal, using the bathroom wherever a business would let me in, finding toilet paper, sleeping down by the river. No matter how bad life got, I couldn't get away from the drugs. I tried to quit, but I only lasted a week, if that. It takes away your hunger, turns off emotions, it leaves you feeling numb. Everything. I lost everything. All I needed was a shovel to dig 6 feet deep. I was a living version of The Walking Dead. 4 years, just 4 years, that's all it took. I feel so happy to have this second chance at a life with my sons. They make my dead inside shimmer with hope. I have always had love to give, loyalty, respect, and I'm honest. God gave me what I so longed for, a reason, a purpose, a home, a life, a sense of belonging, to feel wanted, needed. Just seek and you will find. Just ask and help will come. You're not alone. Don't let your light completely burn out. Your mind is your worst enemy. When I was using, I thought my family hated me. There's a lot of demons of the mind, a lot of self-sabotage, a lot of negativity comes with the use of drugs. Life becomes unmanageable, unstable. You will lose everything. Meth almost broke me. I have lost so much, but life continues and stops for no one. I was homeless for over a year, squatting, walking around the city, finding roommates, but they were always bad ones. I wasn't surviving. I was a walking zombie. I was just following the wrong group of people, trying to fit in with whoever. Friends that aren't there for your best interest. They aren't your friends. You will slowly poison each other. The more you use, the more you lose. The more you will lose. Drugs don't control your life. You do. The drugs don't love you. I don't know you, but I care. I've been there. I've lost 3+ good people to addictions. My best friend. If only, but what if? But why? Those words will haunt you. Life is a gift if you choose to be present. This wasn't me. I knew I needed help. I thought of rehab, but I thought I had to pay for it. I wanted help, but I didn't know where to look. I sat outside detox with nowhere left to go. I laid outside with a backpack until they let me in. That's where I found out about Homeward Bound, and I was also 15 weeks pregnant. I thought we were gonna die. I cried for days. If Homeward Bound didn't step in, I would have lost my child and my life. I've been clean since June 28th, 2016. You need to believe in yourself. Only you can turn your life around for good. Don't search for the light. Be the light. White knuckling it. Hold on to that sliver of hope. I suffer bad depression and anxiety. Sometimes it's so thick and smothering, such negative. It doesn't feel like my own thoughts are mine. You gotta listen to that angel on your shoulder. I started my life over with just a backpack and a baby in my belly. The withdrawals were so bad for over a month. I never want to experience that pain again. The restlessness, the pain of all the poison leaving your body. Having your head in the clouds, you're never going to feel grounded and secure. Follow your heart. Your brain can be deceiving. Staying up for days, your brain suffers the most. Seeing and hearing things that aren't there. I heard people taunting me through a radio. Nights where you feel like your head's gonna explode. Wearing sunglasses indoors. Don't hide. Reach out for help before you lose your voice. You are so full of potential. Don't throw your life down a pipe. You won't know when it's too late. I have done permanent damage to my brain and my bones. I will never get that back. But at least I'm clean and able to tell my story and hopefully inspire others. And of course, the heart of it all, my kids. They keep me on my toes and keep me determined. Seeing these little lives that I created brings me so much fulfillment and joy. They're the light of my life. Dreamer. I've always been a dreamer. I never thought I would make it this far. I was a suicidal nightmare. Being born into abuse, feeling like a waste of space. Self-harm, being moved from home to home. No childhood. But I held on to a dream, and now I'm clean and living that dream to the best of my ability. Just trying my best, and that's all I can do. That's all anyone can do. Just try your best. Keep trying to find the good. Seek the good life, and good will come with time. Listen to good music. There's a whole life out there if you just give it time. Because coming from this lost cause, what do you got to lose? Change people, places, and things. Choose to wake up and do good. Live a good life. I left it all behind, and I haven't looked back. Drugs and partying will only leave you dead or in jail. Doctors gave me 5 years to live. If I kept using, I was gonna die in 5 years. This June, I celebrate 5 years clean and the rest of my life to look forward to, with light and love. Never have I been so excited for my future. Again, I am Selena Vance. I am human, and I'm still struggling, but I never stopped fighting. Remember, it's important to realize that no matter how good you are to people, it won't make them good to you. We can't control others, but we can control our reactions and our choices. There's so much to life. Life is beautiful, chaotic, joyful, but most of all, it's unfair. You have the wheel, just give it time. There's so much worth living for. You are worth it. You deserve it. What do you want for yourself? Go and get it. Being rock bottom is no fun, but that's where you'll find your strength. What are you capable of? I hope I shed some light to the people out there. There's so much to life, so much beauty. Have faith and give it time, because I believe you're worth it.
Seek the good life. I love that so much. Thank you, Selena. I hope everyone out there is really soaking in everything that these speakers are saying. They are so brave to share their life stories with us, share their personal experiences and their hardships, and the joys of their life and all the achievements they've accomplished. I know it can be hard to sit there in a classroom and you just want to wait till the end of the day to go home, but there's so much valuable information and experiences and everything these keynote speakers are saying. So my wish is that you all are enjoying this as much as I am. And to prove how grateful we are that you are tuning in, we actually have some draws to present to you guys right now. So we will draw some of your names for some prizes. The first thing we have is a $25 gift certificate from Co-op. And let's see who this is going to. Wheel of Fortune style. And that is going to Jennifer Peterson. Congratulations, Jennifer. That is a $25 gift certificate to Co-op. I'm sure we'll find a way to get that to you. I'll personally deliver it, Jennifer. That's what I'll do for you. This one is a Subway gift card. We had Subway here today, delicious. And it's, I believe, $25 once again. Let's spin that wheel of fortune again. And that is I'm going to mess up your last name, Nikki. That is going to Nikki Karaluk. I apologize, Nikki, but congratulations. That is a $25 gift certificate to Subway. You guys did not see me drop that prize on the ground. Let's ignore that real quick. And one more gift certificate. And I believe this one is to Dairy Queen, if I'm reading that correctly. That's to Dairy Queen. You can get a lot of ice cream cones with the gift certificate to Dairy Queen. And that is going to, who's it going to? That is going to Pam Wader. I really hope that's your last name, Pam, and your name, because one of my contacts popped out at the beginning of this, and I'm reading everything a little bit wonky, but congratulations, Pam. And the last prize we have, not the last one of the day, but the last one for this round, is this Life is Limitless sweater from Limitless Gear. Beautiful, beautiful sweater, very soft. And that is going to, let's spin that wheel one more time. That is going to Jody Joy, or Joy Jody. Jody Joy will get a hold of you. Congratulations, that is an excellent sweater. I gotta pick up one for myself at Limitless Gear here in Prince Albert. Very jealous, but yes, congratulations to all of the winners of our draws. Now let's get back right into this Voices of Our Youth conference held here at the Voices of Our Youth, what I'm going to call the headquarters. We're in the middle of the Carleton High School here in Prince Albert. Special thanks to the Sask River School Division for allowing us to be here in this beautiful studio. Next up, we have the CBYF, that's Community-Based Youth Futures. It's a project of the Prince Albert Urban Indigenous Coalition, the Community Networking Coalition with the West Flat Citizens Group. CBYF's priorities include having a safe, connected, vibrant community centered around our youth, building foundational social bonds for youth that will support their education and employment goals, and to increase educational attainment and employment among youth in Prince Albert. CBYF is a 5-year project that will see youth ages 14 to 30 in Prince Albert take the lead in their educational and employment barriers and work to create opportunities through these barriers, resulting in more youth completing their education and moving forward with their plans for employment and or further education. CBYF is operating out of the Bernice Sais Center with the West Flat Citizens Group as their accountable partner. CBYF is being kickstarted by the Prince Albert Urban Indigenous Coalition and the Community Networking Coalition. The project is funded by the Learning Branch, Employment and Social Development Canada, with implementation support through Tamarack Institute. The work CBYF hopes to accomplish is work that no one organization or group can accomplish on their own. It takes a community. CBYF is implementing the Collective Impact Framework to work collaboratively with local stakeholders to support our youth and address the barriers that youth have identified. If you are interested in knowing more about how to help and get involved, their website is cbyfpa.ca. That's cbyfpa.ca. or contact them on social media. We're going to be hearing from Alex Pawlinski. Alex is the coordinator for CBYF. Alex recently completed her Bachelor's of Indigenous Social Work and Certificate in Reconciliation Studies. Alex is passionate about photography, her family, community, and amplifying the voices of our youth. We're also going to be hearing from Talon Halsall. They are a 17-year-old high school student at St. Mary's High School and youth rep at CBYF. Talon will be speaking about supports in the education system. We'll be hearing from Amanda Nelson, a 21-year-old University of Regina student and a youth intern at CBYF. Amanda will be speaking about the importance of relationships in the education system. And finally, Nicole Mathias. Nicole is a youth and assistant coordinator for CBYF. Nicole is studying Indigenous social work at the First Nations University in Prince Albert. She was born and raised in Prince Albert and has always had a passion for working with youth and her community. Along with her heart for youth, she also enjoys the outdoors, spending time with friends and family and her cat. This is the CBYF.
Tanse Alex Ntsigasen. My name is Alex, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm really excited to be here to talk to you a little bit about what we've learned from engaging with youth here at CBYF. So some of the lessons that we've learned have been about the barriers and the strengths of our youth, what they're saying that they need, and what they're also interested in. What our youth have been telling us is that mental health, social anxiety, now with COVID, things have gone up. And that's their biggest barrier right now to what they deem is a successful life. They're looking for support for their mental health and their overall holistic well-being. Our youth have talked about needing support and feeling like they can't access the services that are available here in Prince Albert. Part of this is because there's a lack of trust between the youth and the service providers. Youth are telling us that they need time to build relationships with the resources, and that sometimes they don't even know that the resources are out there for them. Based on this feedback from our youth, we've developed our own approach called Unrelenting Outreach. This is one of the biggest lessons that we've learned at CBYF, and essentially it's just not giving up on our youth. So with our youth and with everything they're dealing with COVID, school moving online, all of the additional pressures and uncertain future, sometimes they fall through on their commitments to us, their program attendance waivers, And instead of reprimanding them or removing them from our lists, we see that as an identification of a barrier. We put the responsibility on ourselves to see how we can now increase that engagement with them. We don't give up on our youth. We continue to reach out to them, encourage them to come back, and when they do re-engage with us, we celebrate that engagement. Thank you all for being here today, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Hey everyone, Nicole here from Communities Building Youth Futures, where our logo is for youth, by youth. With our aspirational vision, we want to see a community where youth feel connected. And we want to see a community where youth are at the center and youth voices are heard. With CBYF, we have a survey and we have a youth leadership council where youth are allowed to share their voice and what they want to see for the community and where they want to see what kind of programs that we can develop for them. Right now, we have a couple different programs on the go. We have a beading circle, because a bunch of youth said that they were interested in cultural programs and getting together and just being able to share their thoughts and their visions for what Prince Albert can be. We also have a cultural program going on, a self-care workshop. Through the youth-led survey, we're able to hear about what's going on in the youth's lives, and we're able to connect with them and see what their needs are. And so we're really excited about this conference and being able to hear the youth voice loud.
Hi, I'm Ananda Nelson. I'm 21. I work with CBYF, and I've graduated from St. Mary's, but I've gone to St. Mary's in Carleton. My high school experience was different from when I first entered into high school with. I expected to kind of make friends off the bat and get along with my teachers and anyone else that was there, but I experienced it different from what I came in with. I entered into high school with a positive mindset coming from a small elementary school where I had built relationships with both the teachers, the principals, and all my fellow classmates. But what I really entered with was feeling scared and shy and overwhelmed. In elementary, I was able to be myself, and I was able to open up and get along with everyone. But in high school, I felt shy and nervous a lot and felt like I couldn't be who I was. I felt kind of unwelcomed. Not that it was like on purpose, just that I was coming from a small school and I was shy and quiet, kind of shut myself out at the start. I felt like I was being categorized into those groups of students who kind of didn't care and I guess were bad. What helped me with changing that experience from kind of the negative aspect into the more positive aspect was getting into sports and like the after-school activities that they would have. I got to know some of the teachers better, got to meet my classmates and understand that it was a bigger school and it's hard to know everyone like I did in elementary. Getting those relationships and building those bonds helped make my high school experience better and honestly made me feel like not as much as an outcast as I did coming in. I want that experience to be different for other youth who are entering into high school because I feel like everyone should be entering into high school with that positive mindset and being welcomed and not as overwhelmed as they should be. So yeah, that's my story. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Talon. I go to school at St. Mary's High School. I am 17 years old, and I guess I'm here to talk about my high school, or not high school, but elementary experience. So basically, growing up there, I was always bullied, I was picked on. The teachers weren't on my side. Just for me to stand up, I was basically fighting at a young age. That's the way I grew up, was basically fighting. I was in the principal's office every day. I didn't know any different growing up. I just thought that's just how it was, getting picked on. Like, it was just such a normal thing for me. I remember this one time, I was playing with my friends on the playground, and I went to this one spot and I got punched in the face. And I remember that I had to write a one-page apology letter saying how I was sorry to the kid that punched me. I don't remember how I felt. I guess I remember feeling left out, like I had no one. I didn't fit in. And then after a while, I moved in with my auntie and her girlfriend. That was about 7 years ago now. And I went to a school called St. Anne's in PA here. And it was a better experience for sure. I still got picked on, but the teachers knew how to deal with it. Bullying was not acceptable. I guess I did feel wanted there, like I felt a part of a little community with the teachers and the kids. It was very welcoming when I first got there. I did have a few issues for the first three and a half years. But once I got older and more, educated, and I learned, it got better for me. I was in the office basically every day for fighting and stuff. Until grade 8, I barely went to the principal's office for fighting. Then I got to high school. Definitely an experience that I imagined different. I made new friends. I still got bullied there, but I got help. I was helped. It was a good experience from St. Anne's and St. Mary's. I definitely learned a lot of things, and the teachers, for sure, if I could tell them how they could have, controlled the situations better and handled them, that, you shouldn't just pick one side, you shouldn't pick your favorites, that's just, it ends up to situations that could have been handled better, for sure. But yeah, that's my story. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Thank you so much to the community building Youth Futures. My apologies to them for messing that name up. They have already done such important work in the community. So special thanks to them for sharing their stories. That last story definitely hits a little close to home. I was very severely bullied when I was growing up for being different. And then I found my voice through music and through songwriting and through performance. Unfortunately, I think from being hurt so much, I kind of turned into maybe a little bit of a bully myself, and that just comes with self-reflection and learning more about yourself. But yeah, bullying can impact us in so many ways. It can close us further into our shells. It can cause us to lash out, and I've been through the full spectrum of bullying. So trust me when I say things definitely get better. And once again, thank you to to the CBYF for sharing their stories. It hits home, and I know it hits home with a lot of you out there too. I thought I'd share some songs with you. This one actually comes from a project I'm working on right now. It's called Home on a Rainbow. And I wrote it about growing up here in PA. Conservative small place in the middle of Saskatchewan. Little boys got more to hide than anyone. Girls like boys and boys like girls. That's the way it is, can't change the world. But he's gotta know, I want him to know, that he should know, I need him to know, there's a home on a rainbow. He plays the part, but his true intentions grow. He's a perfect actor on a TV show. His daddy don't talk and his mama's just scared. But you can feel the truth, it's in the air. And he's gotta know, I want him to know, yeah, he should know, I need him to know, there's a home on a rainbow. We don't throw bricks and we don't dress up. Small town living is hard enough. Hide and seek sounds fun until it's done. Conservative small place in the middle of Saskatchewan. Old man's got more to hide than anyone, but he's gotta know, I want him to know, yeah, he should know, I need him to know, there's a home on a rainbow. We don't throw bricks and we don't dress up. Small town living is hard enough. Hide and seek sounds fun until it's done. Conservative small place in the middle of Saskatchewan. Little boys got more to hide than anyone. It's so awkward. Oh, thanks, you guys. So awkward playing these virtual gigs and there's like no applause. So it's nice to have a little studio audience in here today, filled with very important people who all are making this event happen. I'll share one more song with you guys because I'm more comfortable singing than I am talking. That's just an unfortunate truth. This is a song I wrote for the city of PA, and then I actually made a music video with the city of PA. It's called Locals. I've been north, I've been south, but nothing compares to be there in my own house. I've been east and I've been west. To be back there, I'd give up all the rest. You know I would, you know I would, you know I would for you. I don't wanna call anywhere else home.
postal code that my friends will never know. I love the feeling of knowing where I walk, and everyone here seems to love small talk. And go and see everything that you need to see, and go and be everything that you need to be. We can build you up when others tear you down, down. After all, we're from the same town. I'm from this place, everybody knows my face. The streets may change, but the smiles, they stay the same. And we're so close, we can drive each other crazy. Yeah, around here, we're the locals, baby. Locals, baby. Locals, baby. We're the locals, baby. Locals, baby. Locals, baby. Dance with the colors that the city brings. You feel the beat of the people underneath your ribs. Down on the pavement to a happy song, you'll hear the sound you knew all along. And go and see everything that you need to see, and go and be everything that you need to be. 'Cause we can build you up when others tear you down, down. After all, we're from the same town. I'm from this place, everybody knows my face. The streets may change, but the smiles, they stay the same. And we're so close, we can drive each other crazy. Yeah, around here, we're the locals, baby. Locals, baby. Locals, baby. We're the locals, baby. Locals, baby. Locals, baby. Yeah, I've been north and I've been south. Nothing compares to being back in my own house.
Awesome. Thanks so much for putting up with me for that little bit there. Let's move on to another one of our great keynote speakers, Maria Hersey. Maria is a Carleton alumni and recently finished her first year of university online. Throughout her discussion, she talks about her experiences as a co-creator of the Carleton Collection Builders and the triumphs she's faced trying to remain connected during the pandemic. Both are heavy topics that circle back to her overwhelming love for her family and for her people on the reservations Wahpeton Dakota First Nation and James Smith Cree Nation. Maria has huge ambitions to improve the quality of life on those reserves in her future. The artwork and the schooling she has done are stepping stones to one day becoming a lawyer and a member of local Indigenous governance.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maria Hersey, and today I'm going to start out by telling you a little bit about last year. Because last year I put myself out there and I painted a collection of art. The art wasn't something you'd see every day. I replicated my granny's basement walls, and I did this to start a conversation. Apparently, your walls can tell a lot about you. See, our walls had scribbles and doodles and punches and splatters. So what did that say about us? Well, as a native, I felt both ashamed and defensive of our res house. And as a human, I know it's because we didn't have money. And as I learn, I know what you think of me, and in turn of my family. And no one gets past me thinking bad about my family. We don't ask for your pity. We don't need to be humbled. In Cookham's house, we were being raised for success. And just because we couldn't paint the walls, it didn't mean we had less. How could there be anything wrong with the place where I belong? I like to think that you're my equal, and that deep down, we're just people. We should all have a place where we can say we belong. And in Prince Albert, there's opportunities for all of us. How many of you want to run away because you hate this life? You're lying if you say that's not you, because At one point or another, we've all felt that way. Look at what's happening today. We're all connected. It's okay. The whole world is going through the same thing, and if you feel anything like me, you're ready for a change. You want to let go of that pain. You want to let go for a change. And I'm telling you to find a program or a group in Prince Albert. I love art. I love poetry. I love music and social justice. So I have surrounded myself with those things. And it always makes me feel good. Even if I just go once to one Zoom meeting, I feel more connected to people, and I appreciate being listened to and respected by others. We are living in an interesting time where the world wants to divide us into opposing groups. It's in our politics, on social media, and it's in our everyday conversations. Is that really all that matters? Proving right about who or what doesn't belong and finding reasons to hate one another? I'm so tired of pointing out all the wrong the world's done me. I just want to belong. If you want that too, then find something that works for you. Thanks to Carleton Collection Builders, a local group in Prince Albert, I was able to create this artwork I've been talking about. But who I really have to thank is Melanie Morasti for inspiring me to believe in myself. And I'm sure any other student who has had the privilege to work with her feels the same. I'm so proud to be a co-founder of the Carleton Collection Builders, and I can only hope that I have inspired others. I get to watch as other artists, people you'd never expect, come up with the most groundbreaking ideas. I just have to share my friend Tanisha McKay's collection with you. So it's just so beautiful. You have to picture this. Picture a black background with big shiny bubbles to capture your eye. But that's not what makes it beautiful. It's the meaning she put behind it. It's about celebrating our differences because we are all our own unique bubble. And that really applies to life because everyone's unique perspective should be shared so that all together we can agree or disagree on how life should look like. So I don't know if I've been talking too long, but I want to give you my perspective on life. I'm an Indigenous student at the U of S, and right now I'm majoring in psychology, but I plan on moving to sociology because I have a strong interest in social justice. I'm so passionate about it. Someday I want to be a lawyer capable of building on local reserves for pathways to reconciliation. I spoke with my mentor about my dream to build a school and a place to host wake services in Wahpeton, Dakota Nation. She really believed in me, and because of her, I know what career path to follow to achieve my goals. Melanie Morasti and I met at the perfect time in my life. I was 17 and just starting to figure out who I was. I took an opportunity with the Rotary Club, and they sponsored me to go on an adventure in science and technology to Saskatoon. Melanie and her husband Matthew drove me, and ever since, more and more opportunities have come to me. In the future, I hope to mentor someone like that. And if not, then to provide a space where those people exist. All I needed to be the person I am today was for someone to believe in me. I think everyone should have that, and I noticed that my people don't have enough of that on the reserves. So I've made it my goal to change that. All right, I'm done. Thank you. Muy estás.
All right, everybody, thanks so much to Maria, and we're actually very fortunate enough to have her here in our little studio. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So much for your keynote presentation. So you're actually very familiar with Carleton.
Yeah, I've gone here for the 4 years, so.
Awesome. How was your experience going to school here?
It was pretty awesome. I think I really opened up in my last year, and I'm so glad that I did because like it really shaped my future those last years.
Do you have any favorite teachers or favorite adults that helped guide your way here?
Yeah, I do. I have, well, Melanie Morasti. She's been a great influence in my life, and I met her through the Carleton Collection Builders here. So I also have my mom, who's a really, really big role model in my life. She shaped who I am, the way I look at the world, looking for opportunities and places where I can fit in, and I'm so grateful for that. And my favorite teacher is Miss Grassick. She's just such a powerful woman. I just admire her so much, and I really love her teaching style. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks. If you guys have any questions for Maria, please put them in the comments right now. As I'm speaking to her here, I'll read some of your questions. Something I really want to talk about that I think is super interesting is university during the time of a pandemic. I feel like that takes a lot of patience and resilience. What's your experience been like doing your first year of university in a pandemic?
Well, it started off on a high. I was thinking I was doing so well, and I was like doing all these schedules and lists, and I was keeping track of everything, and that went away after like 2 weeks. But I tried to pick it up again once second term started. So it's like once the beginning is going, it's going well, but towards the end it gets really hard, and finals are really difficult. You never feel ready. The teachers weren't ready either, so it was really, really challenging this year. So I feel for anyone who had to go through that.
What advice do you have to give to students that are maybe going into university, they're grade 12 students this year, or other students like yourself that are in their first year? What advice can you give to them?
I will say, well, just know your limits, because I ended up having to drop a class in my second term, and even that didn't feel like enough. Just know that you're allowed to take it easy, that they understand that this is more challenging than usual, and take care of yourself. So eat and drink water, because that's actually something you need to do.
100%. Maria, anything else you want to add, or maybe special shout outs to anyone watching right now?
I don't think I know who's watching really, but yeah, I just hope you have a really good day and that you enjoyed everyone's presentations and this lovely musician. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the conversation, and it was a great keynote. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's jump to Marissa McGregor. She will be speaking on behalf of the Saskatchewan First Nations Family Institute.
Hi, my name is Marissa McGregor. I am the program summer student here at Saskatchewan First Nation Family and Community Institute. Today I'm going to be telling you about our transition resource. This resource was made for youth and for those working with youth. We have 3 different types of formats. We have our binder, we have our online and downloadable version, and we also have our app. Come with me, and in this video I'll be showing you more about each of these versions. Hi, these resources were initially developed to help adults like yourselves have conversations with their youth about their transition into independence. There were 9 sections that the youth identified were important factors to discuss. These included housing, relationships and communications, education, community, employment, money management, knowing your rights and the law, transportation, and wellness. Our binder is one of these resources. It is available for $60, and in our binder, we have an assessment form. This assessment form helps you and your youth determine where they are at and what information they would like to know more about. The sections here indicate where they are in relation to the section in the binder. The secondary resource is the It's My Life app. It is a free and downloadable app that is available on any type of app store, and it can go onto a phone or a tablet. The app is a user-friendly resource. When you are on the app, you are able to click any of the functions and the resources that are provided. From there, you are able to see the live links, and you are able to be taken to their website. We also provide an online resource that is available for download. By going to our website at www.sfnfci.ca and going on our resources tab and going to transition planning, you will see all 9 sections that we provide that are in the youth app as well as the youth binder. By clicking on these sections, you will be taken to a different link. From this link, you are able to download as well as see the assessment, and I have live links. Please be sure to check out how you can get a full demonstration and workshop on this amazing resource by going to our website at www.sfnfci.ca and clicking our training tab and going to our youth transition resource training. Here you're able to get more information about the trainings by clicking on the blue links. The trainings are meant to help yourselves get familiarized with the resource and use the most effective ways to incorporate it with your transitioning youth. We also provide trainings for youth where there is a pizza party as well as a scavenger hunt with very fun and exciting prizes. The best part of all of this is that the trainings and workshops are completely free. To get more information, please contact our program consultant, Kristen Friday. You can email her at kristen@sfnfci.ca or you could phone her at 306-717-1165. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
Hi, and welcome back to the Voices of Our Youth headquarters here in the beautiful Carleton Comprehensive High School. Special thanks once again to the Sask River School Division for allowing us to be here. Thanks you guys so much for the comments that we're getting. There's actually a few nice compliments for Maria. Maria's actually still in here, so she will hear this live. Sheena Coop says, Maria, you will be such a great lawyer. Your creativity will help you imagine new ways forward, built on your family knowledge and experience. Danny Williams says, Maria, you are amazing. Thank you for sharing your story and keep up the great work. So yeah, a little studio round of applause for Maria. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned. And to celebrate that you're still here and staying tuned, we have some more draws and giveaways for you guys, so let's jump right to that. This first one, once again, is for a gift certificate to Co-op. Let's jump to that magic wheel. There it is, there it is. We are at risk. We are currently at risk, but we got the software. Crystal Abu, congratulations Crystal, just won a gift certificate to Co-op. The next one, we have another Subway, so delicious. We had Subway here today. So extra congratulations to whoever gets this one. Let's go to that wheel. Spin, spin, spin wheel. Like the Buffy St. Marie song. And that is going to Tracy Crawford. Congratulations, Tracy. I hope you enjoy that Subway. Perfect for the summertime, a nice, delicious ice cream cone. This gift certificate is from DQ. Let's jump to that wheel. And Jaden Campbell will be enjoying a delicious ice cream cone. Next we have I was not sitting on it, I promise. Beautiful sweater. Life is Limitless from Limitless Gear. Let's see who this one's going to. Very soft, amazing sweater. And who will be wearing this amazing sweater? That is going to Carol Muscapo. Congratulations, Carol. This is a very soft, very stylish, very trendy sweater. I'm gonna pick up one for myself. All right, so congratulations to our winners, and thank you to Barry for running our, our magic wheel back there. I greatly appreciate it. All right, y'all, so we have another keynote speaker, an amazing entrepreneur from here in Prince Albert. Cody Desmarais is a Métis entrepreneur and public speaker from Prince Albert. When he was young, he had trouble with authority figures, and he was incarcerated at 19, spending time in the men's correctional facility and then a work camp. Cody saw that his life was spiraling downward, and through strength and determination, he stopped walking the path of pain and rerouted to a path of hope through a change of mindset. As time went on, Cody's confidence strengthened, and he chose to see the beauty in life and in people. He soon saw success and opportunities to serve his community, opened up, and he has been a positive force in our community ever since. As you're watching Cody's keynote, please keep in mind any questions and comment the questions you want, because we will have Cody live here to answer all your questions. Please enjoy Cody's keynote.
I just want to say from the beginning, I am truly humbled and grateful that I've been asked to present for the youth conference. It is something that, as soon as I was asked to do this presentation, my heart basically jumped out of my chest, because it was an incredible honor then, and it is now. I would also like to acknowledge a past teacher, a past coach of mine, and I would like to do this presentation in his honor. My name is Cody Demery. I am a Métis entrepreneur from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. And I was raised my entire life by a single mother. A single mother, or when she had to work, shift work at Weyerhaeuser here in Prince Albert, by babysitters. Babysitters that took care of me many nights while she worked and balanced having a couple kids, until eventually Weyerhaeuser and her job kind of left. Along with 700 other employees of Prince Albert, it was a big staple for our economy. Many people remember as it was their livelihoods. For my mother, it was just that for 28 plus years. We went from a life of having abundance, being able to take trips kind of when we wanted to being able to play all the sports that we wanted to, if we wanted to being almost the opposite. To the point now where even me and my girlfriend will go and get groceries to this day. And we will have a full fridge after, and it will bring a little weird smile to my face, because it makes me feel as if I have the extras in life. I'm not saying I starved or anything. My mom did her very best job after Weyerhaeuser kind of went away. But I do remember the exact change. It was a culture shock for us. It was a difference for us. But growing up that way, my whole life was one way until about 11 years old, it went the exact opposite. To me having the fantastic idea that I was going to play hockey at 11 or 12 years old before I even really stepped on skates myself, ever. As a lot of people know, hockey is one of the most expensive sports, unfortunately. But being as persistent and stubborn as I am, I seen that I had to go and chase that myself. I had to make something happen to make that sport become a reality. I ended up getting my first full-time job in about grade 5 to 6 summer. It was something that I cut grass, 6 to 8 hours a day, 30 to 40 hours a week in the summertime. Well, a lot of my good classmates and friends were out at the lakes enjoying their family times and friend time and all that. It was something that, growing up that way, left me pretty angry. It left me angry because I started to realize, how come I have to work all these hours to afford the extras in life? But in reality, being 27 years old now, I understand that it actually ingrained a work ethic that I'm forever grateful for. Because truly, I wouldn't have ever been to where I am now without that work ethic instilled in me when I was about 11 years old. Growing up in Prince Albert, like I said, I was raised most of the time by my mother or babysitters. This leads to my next part. My father, my biological father, wasn't around most of my life growing up. I actually met my father for the first time when I was about 15 years old. It left me pretty angry, left me upset. along with trying to work at an early age, because I started to see all my friends that were close to me with the family, the complete family. And I never realized how come I couldn't have that. It made me very emotional, made me very vulnerable, to the point that I started looking for placement with maybe people that kind of understood me, people that were in the same mental state as I was at the time, which left me very vulnerable to being introduced to drugs and alcohol at a very young age. I remember on a continuous basis, I started experimenting with drinking and drugs at about 11, 12 years old. Very young, way too young, if you ask me. That's probably why I am where I am in the past with, a criminal record. All the fights, all the disruptions that I've had and caused. But growing up this way, it made something else happen. It made people start to look at me as if maybe I was not necessarily a good role model. I remember parents telling their kids, maybe stay away from Cody, because Cody is a little too rambunctious and a little too rowdy to be putting you on the good path, which only made me more upset, because I started realizing in a place where I just want to belong, I was kind of getting pushed away to the side even more, which made me even develop and devote more time into drugs and alcohol to an extensive amount to kind of just be that rebellion person. To say that, you know what, if they don't want me, I'll prove them right, and I'll just continue doing so. Unfortunately, that's not the best path that somebody should take. Living like this escalated as time went on, as I got older. It got to the point that when I was 16 years old, I heard a statement from a lovely lady that was in my life that was a coworker at the time when I worked at another job for 3 to 4 years, I think it was. She told me 2 things were going to happen in my life if I didn't turn my life around. Because I would go into work every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, being hungover, smelling completely like booze, and some nights not even sleeping the night before. And I would tell her everything that happened the night before, as if I was bragging to somebody that might have thought it was funny. In reality, she seen exactly what my future was unfolding at the time, and she told me straight. She told me if I don't turn my life around, 2 things were going to happen. 1, I was going to end up going to jail some point in my life. And 2, I was going to end up dead before my life even began to live. This kind of statement made me shrug it off, made me realize she doesn't have a crystal ball. She doesn't know where my life future is going. Although she knew exactly where it was going, because she's seen a pattern involved with her friends, her family, maybe, but she's seen something coming. And that statement led to an unfaithful night that me and one of my best friends, along with a few others, were at a house party. It's about a week before grade 12. And we're celebrating the last little bit of the summertime before grade 12 starts for us. And my car was there in front of the house party. Our DD asked us earlier on if he wanted us to drive us home because he was getting tired. And we thought it was a good idea to stay behind because it's only 3 o'clock in the morning. We got plenty of more energy and we're going to continue going. Until we wanted to switch locations. and do something different. Of course, at this time, I am completely intoxicated and completely consumed from alcohol, along with one of my best friends as well. But it's my car parked in front of the house party that we're at. So I get the bright idea that it's going to be a good idea to get behind the wheel. But at this point, I'm having troubles walking. I'm having troubles talking because I was so intoxicated. And because I was 18 years old and thinking I was bulletproof, thinking we all were, I said to myself, what is the worst that could happen? Which, moments later, I realized that it was a tragic night that has definitely changed the rest of my life forever, along with my best friend. I still remember vividly staring eye to eye with my best friend moments before we came to a complete stop. We came to a complete stop going about 116. 116 to come into a complete stop. As most people know that are aware, physics don't necessarily work with you when you're going that fast coming to a stop. We hit a tree because I took my eyes off the road. I hit a meridian, which shot us to the tree. A tree that, in the moments of a blink of a second, seemed like it came right to us. Which, you know what, going that fast probably did. Probably was as quick as a blink. Moments later, I woke up. I woke up to my front end of my vehicle pretty much wedged into the tree, realizing what had just happened and looking over at my best friend. Looking over at my best friend saying, Regan, we got to get out of here. We got to wake up. We got to go. I thought he might have just been knocked out for a moment, passed out, until I realized something. He wasn't waking up. And I realized another thing, that the windshield in front of him had a big smash in it, as if somebody threw a big rock at it from the inside of the vehicle. And I realized another thing, he was laying on the dashboard and not in the back of his seat, as if he was wearing his seatbelt. I didn't know at the time whether or not he took it off midway through. But then I realized he probably wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Then the fear, the anxiety started taking over me. It started making me feel very uncomfortable to the point that I felt like I was drowning because I didn't know what was going to happen next. Then I passed out because the adrenaline, the alcohol that was still in my system, it took over me and I passed out. And I remember waking up in an ambulance strapped to a stretcher, crying, freaking out where my best friend was because I wanted to know what had happened to him. And I couldn't remember exact details whether or not it was in the hospital or in the ambulance that I was told that Regan was on his way to Saskatoon Hospital to get taken care of because his head injury was so significant and so severe that they needed to do the very best that they could to make sure he would survive. I spent less than a dozen hours at the hospital in Prince Albert because I didn't want to be there no more after hearing that news. And after waking up the third or fourth time, I left, unplugged my own IVs. I remember falling down into my mother's arms because I was so dizzy from having the head injury myself of the contusions. But I remember just wanting to leave immediately. I remember going home for a few days, bawling my eyes out, crying to a point where I didn't have any more tears, to a point where I just sat there in a dark room, staring at the wall, not knowing what's going to happen next. Until a night where I heard that he was not going to make it through. And I tried a very emotional act. That I didn't want to be around no more. And it was a very emotional act, and it was the wrong act to do, but you know what? Not to put in much detail, I'm still forever grateful that I'm still here after that night that I tried to do something wrongfully. And you know what? I'm very grateful because I wouldn't be standing in front of whoever sees this video itself. I wouldn't be standing in this room with the people that tossed on this event. And I wouldn't be the person who I am today if what I tried to do succeeded. And I'm forever grateful for that. But you know what? Thankfully enough, my best friend survives. He pulls through. He prevails all percentages that people gave him. And you know what? He pulled through, and he is now a very successful owner of his own construction business, RT Construction. It is something that inspired me to do my own thing as well. But first, after graduation, came back to the reality of things after that car crash. Realizing, being 19 years old, about a month after graduation, I'm sitting in a courtroom with my mother, my grandma, and a family friend. And the judge asked me if I want to say anything to go along with what he just sentenced me to 6 months in the men's correctional here in Prince Albert. I stood up, and I apologized, and I took in respectively what was coming to me. And you know what? The moment I was sitting in the correctional, shaking my head, looking at the floor, I realized something in my life. That wonderful lady, she did have a crystal ball. She's seen exactly where my life was headed. It's pretty wild to think back 3 years of a difference time that she called it. I just remember thinking to myself, that lady is a wizard. But it was real, and it happened. You know what? A few months go by, I do my time like I'm supposed to after a significant incident, a significant mistake like I made. And I get out New Year's Eve, and out of all the people that could come visit me, it was my best friend, the one that I was in the car crash with. It's one of the first people that came and visit me, which meant the world to me. It still does to this day. For that, I'm grateful as well. As time moved forward, we tried to rebuild our lives in the ways that we seen fit. Regan did a lot of construction work for other people, and I was just trying to find a place where I belonged. Until Regan actually started his own construction business. And I remember working with him on his very first job to build a fence. He had in his equipment about 2 drills and a bag of screws. And as time would go on, and I would hang out with him, 2 things happened. He inspired me more and more every day because he overcame all these odds and percentages that people said he wasn't going to make it to. As well, hanging out with him just brought a lot of PTSD, a lot of issues in my own internal way that I just never coped with, apparently. It got to the moment that my drugs and alcohol addictions, to the point that it wasn't just trying to go out and have fun, but the drug addiction took over to the place that I was going for 2 or 3 days straight in a row, not sleeping, not eating, and consuming as much drugs as physically possible. Because I was dealing with a mental issue that I didn't know I was dealing with. Until a few situations started happening to me. I started realizing that something's going on with me because, you know what, I didn't survive those other horrific nights to go down a path that drugs were going to take me. I started realizing I got angry out of nowhere at people that I deeply cared about. It even got to the point where I was driving with a person in the vehicle at one time, and that person's headlights were a little foggy, and I immediately started bawling my eyes out, and I started shaking, realizing that there was somebody in the car that I cared about deeply, and that I was losing sight of vision. So it brought back all that PTSD, the memory of that night, and brought me back exactly where I was years before. This kept on going back and forth. I kept on thinking I was fine. I kept on thinking I was able to handle it. Until the truth is, I seen a counselor here and there. Didn't know if it helped me. But it did, deep down inside. But I wasn't taking care of something that I needed to. Until this kind of lifestyle led me into another significant night that really opened my eyes. It brought a moment where I was out kind of on a bender for 2 or 3 days straight, and I was ingesting as much drugs as physically possible as I could do. It got to the point that whenever I did stop, probably because I ran out of money or because maybe I just was getting too sick, I walked to my mother's house, and it was midday. It was midday in the wintertime, and I remember stepping into a living room, yelling out for her, saying, "Mom, I cannot breathe. I can't breathe, and I don't know what's going on with me." As I'm laying on the floor, I start flopping around like a fish, because I don't know if it's my heart kind of feeling like it's giving out, an anxiety attack, or what. But I remember my mom coming out, crying, and being very upset because that's her second child on the floor saying, "I can't breathe." Moments later, they took me to the hospital, and everything was all worked out, everything like that, but I laid there thinking to myself that that lady who called me going to jail when I was younger in my life, she was going to be right, not about only one thing, but she's going to be right about another thing. And you know what? I allowed her to be right about the first thing. I wasn't going to be allowing her to be right about the second thing. So I had to turn my life around. I had to do something that was going to make my life better. I had to stop acting like the victim, because that's exactly what I had. I had a victim mentality that the world is dark and cold and miserable, and that's what came back to me, because I firmly believe the energy you put out in the world is the energy you get back. And not only was I trying to find ways that I could get inspired to make a change in my life, but it was actually one of my best friends. To go back to the moment that I realized this person overcame all obstacles. He was there for me the day I got home, and he is continuing his life as best as possible. I want to pursue his footsteps. I want to do what he's doing. Create something out of nothing. He was my biggest inspiration. For me, one to remember an art project back when I was in grade 1. It was an art project to come out with your own label, your own brand, using the things that were personal to you. I remember thinking it was such a cool idea, cool project, because, 15, 20 years later, I don't remember necessarily the best math questions that I remembered from school, but I remember this art project. So it was something that stuck with me. And it was something that I worked on continuously for 2.5 months, trying to come out with the best combination that wouldn't necessarily just be a t-shirt. It wouldn't just necessarily be a bunny hug or a hat. It was going to be something that added value to people's lives. because I remember thinking to myself, I've had too many people not think of my name as a good name, even though I knew what kind of heart I had deep down inside. So it was me wanting to turn things around that led to me wanting to create the inspirational clothing brand, Limitless Gear Clothing. A brand that was meant to inspire people and show people that the human potential is limitless, and is what we make of it, because we are the architects of our own lives. We design, we create, and we manufacture, and we build our lives how we see fit. So if we're not happy in our lives as we see today, it's definitely up to us to make a change for that. Because when my life started to turn around, it's when I got rid of that victim mentality, that the world is after me and I'm not going to survive it. I stopped wanting to think like that because I started getting into self-help books that were going to change my life, not, things that were going to continue doing the same thing. I started to see help, not only about my drug addiction, but about my mental health, my PTSD. Another shift started happening in my life. Me and Regan actually started doing presentations about drinking and driving, which each and every single time that we did something like that, it would make me feel a little bit more better. A little bit more better. I know it was the same for him. But at the same time, we didn't know that until I started realizing this is something I want to do on a continuous basis. This is something personally I want to do because I don't want kids, adults, anyone of any age to think to themselves that I have to go through the same situation that Cody and Regan did to be where they are. That is not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is you need to listen to what we have said about presentations, what I'm saying to you now, and it's learn from my past mistakes instead of making them yourself. Because I definitely believe when you try to add value into people, more than you take back, beautiful things can happen. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my life where it is now, but it wasn't always this way. And like I said, it started when I shifted my mindset to not being a victim, but to trying to be a leader and lead by example so others don't have to. Others don't have to learn the hard way. I'm standing here, hopefully with a message to allow you guys to understand that whatever dark obstacle you are going through, whatever situation comes your way, if you just hang in there, you might be looking at the most beautiful life on the other side. And 3 things that I look back in my life that taught me so much is 1, my mother used to tell me all the time, life is like a roller coaster. You're going to go through highs and lows in life. If you're going through a low in life, hopefully a high is coming because, you know what, you hung in there. Something, of course, a teenager, a young adult doesn't listen to too much because you don't believe that your mother knows right, when a lot of the time she does know exactly where your life is going. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of mothers that appreciate that comment. And 2, show me who your 5 friends are, I'll show you who you are. Coming from somebody that was involved in drugs drastically on many factors, to the point that it brought me to almost overdose and multiple times, to the point that it brought me to houses that I never thought I was going to be in when I was younger. Houses that you would believe and only see on movies. So show me who your 5 friends are, I'll show you who you are. And the 3rd quote that I would love to kind of hopefully wrap a few things off of is something I firmly believe in, is confidence. A big reason why I am today is because I started to gain confidence. Big reason why I used to be who I used to be is because I didn't have confidence. So one of the many things I like to promote is that a person with confidence can move mountains. And once you believe you have the abilities and capacities to do great things, that is when life becomes limitless. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Voices of Our Youth Conference here in Carleton High School. We're very, very lucky after his awesome keynote to actually have Cody here live in our studio. Welcome, Cody.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Thanks so much.
First of all, I just have to say this is an amazing setup. Like every single person that has been a part of this, it's incredible. It's actually breathtaking.
Yes, we should actually, I've been forgetting all day, and sorry guys. Give a big thank you to Big Drum Media. And like Cody said, it is just a great start today. So if you guys have any questions for Cody, I have here the live chat here right now. So please, let's make use of this man's time and ask him some questions. Anything you guys want to ask, just put it in the chat and I'll be sure to read them. Cody, I want to kind of start out by saying you acknowledged your mom and a lady from, oh my goodness, I had it all written down here and I don't.
It's all
your
good.
Previous work experience. What other adults come to mind that may have been a positive influence to you or provided you some advice?
So now can I ask, is this more or less like over the past few years, maybe a bit more when I was younger?
You know, let's do both.
Let's do both?
Who was it influenced you when you were younger, and then maybe who's been a guiding light?
Sounds good for sure. That's very good actually. I like that one because I was not necessarily the best student when it came to schools myself. I was always in trouble. I was always getting talking to, but it was the teachers actually that were stubborn as me to stay with me and actually not take things aggressively on me, but to actually maybe just try and teach some guidance. Maybe don't do this, not in an aggressive physical manner way, you know what I mean, or anything like that. So there's countless teachers that actually were just able to talk with me on a different level that I could relate to over the past few years. And it's unfortunate to try and go over maybe some of the names because I feel like I would leave quite a few out, so I might not want to just try and start listing off some names out of respect for the ones that, definitely know they made an impact, and I appreciate even a few years later that was for sure. And you know what, I can't think of a better story than the one I had about 1.5 years ago. So I run Limitless Gear in Prince Albert here. I was open for 3 months before COVID. Before COVID told me to shut the small businesses, all the storefronts down and everything like that. I was pretty emotional. I was pretty upset the night that I decided to close the doors and figure out a way to continue business because I left every other job. I literally took a full leap on trying to make it work. And then after all, to get told I might have to close the front doors for an extended amount. But previously, there was a chiropractor in Prince Albert that he knew my story, and I explained it to him that I'm a public speaker and I started this brand and everything. And he said to me one thing that definitely changed and helped my life to where it is now. He said, I might have a person that you should talk to immediately. And he wrote this number down and gave me his name, and I stared at that number for about 3 or 4 days because I didn't know how to approach this. And I ended up chatting and calling that person that was on the phone. And he ended up becoming a mentor of mine that I chatted with on the phone every second week for a couple months that I was opening up the store. That he spoke around the world. He's done workshops all over the world. He's big into the community. And he's just a low-key, amazing person. So I called him the day that I had to close the store, that I decided I might close the store. And this gentleman has done speaking engagements, like I said, all over the world, I believe. And he asked me for my address so that he could help me out and help take off some of the stress. Before I ever met this person, this mentor, this amazing person, he wanted to send me $1,000 for just pre-booking me for speaking in the future, that I still have never had a chance to repay him. And I've tried for the past 1.5 years.
Yep.
Before I ever met this person in my life. he said, that's what makes it even better, is that I have faith in you. I know what you're going to do in the future to keep you going and everything. That's what our community needs. So that's a story that I haven't expressed publicly too much or anything, just because I didn't know how it would make him feel. But I believe that that's a story that a person took a risk on me before they even met me in person, that has gone a far ways, especially with COVID.
Well, I'm sure he appreciates the acknowledgement right now, you know, just
For
random
sure.
acts of kindness that people give you. They are just that, random acts of kindness, and how do you repay something like that? You know, it's definitely
Yes, he
definitely good.
He did tell me 10 years down the line, just pay it forward.
Yeah.
That's when I tried to ask to pay him back. He said 10 years down the line, you help out another entrepreneur.
Right. And I feel like you're already doing that, man. Like, just sharing your stories and everything with the youth and people that you come across with, come into contact with. Like, I think you already are well on your way to paying him back with that and paying it forward. So thanks for that, dude.
I appreciate that. Man.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
So something that I personally wanted to ask you, it's one thing to say, because a lot of people say it, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, there's lots of idea people out there.
Yep.
What step did you have to take from taking it to an idea to actually bringing it to life?
I think
That's a loaded question, sorry.
That's okay. I think the pure excitement of how I was with the idea made me literally want to take a full leap no matter what. And making the full-time decision compared to where I was in the trades to trying a full-time career with the, you know, the business and the everything behind it, that was probably one of the best decisions in my life, because there's an old story of kind of burning the ships mentality. So that means, you know, there's a bunch of soldiers that were outnumbered, and their general said, burn the ships because we're not going back. So it gave me that mentality that, you know, you can't go backwards. I mean, I could, but might as well try and do everything possible to make it work now. And it was just, I've never been happier since making that full-time commitment. And I've always been kind of, you know, not an overthinker. When I was younger, it was definitely maybe a flaw of mine, getting myself in all sorts of trouble. But as I grow older, I know how to channel it and become more productive with it. And it's really been a strength for me.
We've been talking a lot about like dreaming and goals today. What's next for Limitless Gear? Like, what do you want to achieve next?
That's
also another loaded question.
That's another big question.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm just going to keep doing it until I don't enjoy it anymore, and then I'll find a way to make it enjoyable again. But I don't necessarily have a destination where I want to keep going. I can see Limitless in the future being in, you know, a few stores across Canada and stuff like that, and being able to do what Malcolm Jenkins here in Prince Albert has done, build parks and water parks and everything like that. I want the brand to get to that level one day.
Right. Let's jump to a few audience questions here. This one says, thank you for sharing your story, Cody. It was amazing and inspiring to hear. I love what you said about humans and creating and innovating. What is something you are working towards now? I think we kind of maybe touched on that one just now, actually.
But I do have a workshop that I've been working on for the past month or so, actually, that I'm going to start facilitating, hopefully, on building confidence in youth.
Awesome.
So that's something I'm very excited for, because it's something I don't do every day.
Right, that's exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
Sheena Coop says, Cody, what does the logo from that art project look like?
It was a pretty generic logo at that time. I think it was my initials with a basketball and some hockey sticks, I think, at that time, because I was big into sports when I was younger. But yeah, I can still picture it in my head, so.
Yeah. Sylvia says, Cody, thank you for your courage and honesty. It takes a very special person to be open and honest, not just about your successes, but also the difficulties you have overcome. You are an inspiration. That one's more of a compliment, I think. Trish says, wow, Cody, I am grateful to hear your story. I am glad you are here today and are sharing an important message with so many people. Very courageous. Mel says, hi Cody, when you said you had passed out or fainted due to the alcohol, it sounds like your body also went through a stress response survival shutdown. And that has a question mark at the end of it.
You know what, yeah, they're talking about when I kind of came unconscious and a little bit, yeah. I definitely believe the adrenaline had a big part to play, and was just probably trying to, like that person said, you know, self-cope and take care of myself when, you know, I wasn't physically doing that.
Yeah.
But those comments on another thing is truly astonishing that people are just that appreciative and grateful. That's amazing, so thank you for that.
For anyone out there struggling with addictions right now, do you have any like advice for them, that any way that they could move forward, or maybe, you know, even just take it day by day, any thing that you could tell them?
I don't necessarily have a degree when it comes to addictions. I just know from firsthand experience. My biggest thing is kind of having goals in front of me, you know, to continue working on the brand every day. It makes me not want to fall back into place. It makes me not want to go backwards, because I want to move forwards with speaking, the brand, and everything like that. As well, I just started realizing, like, when I was getting close to losing my life more than once, that if I didn't turn things around, it was going to be my final call, let's say. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a perfect person, nor do I pretend to be, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
Yep.
And I say progress, not perfection.
Yep.
Because I still have some nasty habits, you know, like tobacco, whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not perfect, but compared to where I used to be, it's progress over perfection.
Yep. And like a lot of these speakers today, I've noticed like a common theme is that, you know, people still face struggles day to day, you know, even though they're here speaking to you about their experiences. No one has claimed to be perfect. I think maybe that would change things a little bit, you know what I mean? It's just, all of us struggle day to day. It's not like one day you just wake up and things magically change around, you know, it's a definitely day-to-day struggle, and then new struggles come around sometimes, so you deal through those too, you know? I like what you said about, you know, not perfect, no one is. Here's a fun question, do you still play hockey?
Oh. For a sport that was like my dream when I was younger, I unfortunately had some skates stolen about 1.5 years ago out of a vehicle, I think it was. And I have not bought another pair of skates, but I think that might be something I go and do myself for this upcoming winter, yeah.
This one starts out by saying, you don't have to answer this, so feel free, we can move along. They were wondering if you have established any sort of relationship with your father and how that has affected your life since your first meeting.
You know, that's a question I get asked quite a bit, and it's a fair question because I believe I was angry a little bit when I was younger because of it. And the truth is, we do have a strong connection. The truth is, I get to chat with him. I get to call him every second week or third week compared to how it used to be. And that I'm very grateful for, because it turns out he was an entrepreneur all his life and started a big oil sands business in Alberta and everything for the most of his life. And a few years ago, he sold everything and moved back to his homestead farm about an hour away. So our contact and our level of connection has definitely grown a lot stronger, which I'm forever grateful for.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, everyone can have a mentor in anybody that is a positive role model. So that's an empowering fact as well.
Right. Brandy Bell says, lived experience is so important. What do you wish someone would have told you early in your life to help you navigate?
These are amazing questions.
Yeah.
I wish I had like an hour on each one of them, I swear.
You could spend an hour on each one of them, honestly.
True. Can you tell me that question?
I sure can. Brandy Bell asked, lived experience is so important. What do you wish someone would have told you early in your life to help you navigate?
The truth is, there were so many people that probably told me exactly what I needed to hear at the time. I was just incredibly stubborn, and I still am, but like in a good sense, in a healthier way. I just really wish, I don't think it's something that people need to tell me. I think I just needed to truly not be so stubborn when I was younger and listen a bit more to what, not even family, just people seeing where I was coming from, where I was going. Maybe listen a bit more to anyone that's seen my future. And maybe things could have definitely turned out a little bit different.
Sure. Ruby says, she's never heard your story before, Cody, but is very grateful that you shared your story with all of us. Thank you very much for giving back to your community with your story, and that's, I'll echo her comments, Cody. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Is there anything that you want to add and speak to the audience about before we wrap things up here?
For sure. Like I said before in my presentation, I believe confidence can help move mountains and people that reach for it. And confidence can be gained every single day. So never be scared to try and gain a little bit more confidence. Not arrogance, but confidence. There's definitely a different story between the two of them. And I wish every youth that is listening to this for the better future to hopefully gain confidence as much as possible.
Great. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you very much, Cody. Really appreciate you sitting down and talking with me here. I know some of these questions aren't always easy. They can be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but thank you for being brave and sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much, bud. I appreciate that.
Alrighty. So we actually are going to be moving on to some draws because we greatly appreciate everyone that's still here with us and wanting to learn and listen. And that's why we have a gift card from Co-op. Let's bring back up that wheel. Oh, I'm rushing around the crew here. Sorry, crew.
Perfect.
You know what, we just spoke with Cody, so let's give away some of his product here. Another Life is Limitless gear hoodie. Let's see who is going to be taking this one home. Jennifer LaRiviere, congratulations. She gets the Life is Limitless gear hoodie. Next is for a scarf from Jen Brown. She is a local Métis artist. I don't know if y'all can really see that here, but it is a beautiful scarf. There we go. Beautiful print, and it's wrapped in plastic for you, so it's safe from COVID. And that one is going to... That is going to Kyle Bear. Congratulations to Kyle Bear. Next up, we have another $25 Co-op gift certificate. Let's see who's going to gas up. I guess there's a lot of things you can buy at Co-op. That is going to Joanne Fair. Congratulations to Joanne Fair. A Subway gift card. Let's go back to that wheel and see who's winning the Subway gift card. And Lisa Broda will be eating fresh. Subway, eat fresh. Lisa Broda, congratulations. Are y'all sitting on the edge of your seats just waiting to see who's going to win? I'm sorry if you don't, but I feel like just watching this conference was a prize in and of itself. Another Co-op gift card. Let's see who's taking home this one. And look at how many names are on the wheel. There's, if you don't win, I'm sorry. Don't blame it on me. Selena Vance, congratulations. She was one of our presenters today. And we didn't set that up. There's no way to set that up. And if you guys set that up, no one told me. So what did they say? Don't shoot the messenger. And our very last prize of the day, co-op gift card. Let's see who's taking home that last prize. Now everyone's on the edge of their seat. Alrighty, and that is going to Tori Bain. Congratulations, Tori Bain. She takes home that co-op gift card. And you know what? I just read her name. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, because I've been doing this whole show with one contact lens. So if you appreciate nothing else that I did today, appreciate that. And special thanks to my optometrist for helping me out with that. And you guys, you know what? We're almost ready to wrap up. I do want to read a few of your comments before we go, because that is the magic of doing virtual conferences, is that we can still interact with you. Oh, Sheena Coops. Sheena Coops, I want to send a special thanks to you. You've been commenting all day, and that makes me happy. Sheena Coops says, we are all winners with these speakers and hosts. Thank you, Sheena. Yes, the speakers were absolutely fantastic today. And, a few more questions for Cody that maybe Cody can check out later. Some definitely amazing compliments for Cody's talk here. Amazing compliments for all of our speakers, actually. So maybe an in-studio round of applause for all of our speakers today. They were amazing. I do want to thank Jennifer Brown, an amazing Métis artist and teacher here in Prince Albert. She designed our logo and poster along with donating a beautiful scarf that depicts her art. We want to thank Jeff Court, Kent Arpin, and the Saskatchewan River School Division for your guidance and for supporting this conference by providing the venue for recording and presenting. Voices of our youth committee members for your time organizing and promoting our youth in our community. Thank you to Macro Properties, Saskatchewan Prevention Institute, and Ranch Airlift Society for your financial support and for your belief in the power of our youth. Finally, thank you to you, the community, for registering for our conference and for taking time to listen to the voices of our youth. I also want to thank everyone that honestly put special time and care into this. You don't even know half the work that went behind this conference, so thank you to everyone that helped put it on. A special thanks from myself. And I wanted to encourage everyone to tune into the Heart of the Youth powwow. That's tomorrow. You can find that on the PA Outreach YouTube, on the CBYF YouTube. And yeah, you guys, that brings us to the end. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank the youth from Carleton that gave me this special medicine package here. I really, truly believe it helped me speak to you guys today. And with that, I'm LJ Tyson. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been super fun, and hopefully see you next year.